Has anyone ever heard this word before, Agni? Agni sounds a little bit like the English word ignite, and so fire. And this word Agni is borrowed from the oldest of the Indian philosophical texts called the Rig Veda. So when they say that yoga is thousands of years old, they are referring to the Vedas, which are the oldest texts of Indian philosophy. So the concept of Agni is very old, and thousands of years ago they used to worship the god of fire, the god of Agni. And because they recognized the importance of the metabolic fire, the fire of life. And they also discovered that the body, or the being, us as human beings, we are children of the sun. If you think about it, we are children of the sun, because we're effectively eating the sun, because the sun is feeding the plants are feeding the animals, we eat the plants, we eat the animals. So we are effectively nourishing ourselves through solar energy, second and third hand. So we are children of the sun. And what yoga aims to do is to connect us to our solar energy, to our Agni, to the Agni that exists in every cell of the body. And Agni in the body, according to Ayurveda, is centered in the digestive tract first. It is the most important location of Agni, is the digestive tract. So when the Agni in the digestive tract is healthy, then it is possible for the Agni in the cells of the tissues of the body to also be healthy. Because the tissues of the body are depending on the metabolic efficiency of the digestive system to be able to nourish themselves properly.
So Agni is, in the digestive system.
So Agni, the most important Agni, because every cell in the body has Agni. Every cell in the body has fire, the fire of life, okay? But when you look at the location of the body, you can see that the Agni in some parts of the body is more important than other parts. First, you can say there is Agni everywhere, but then when you think about how the body functions, then you can say that the digestive tract Agni is the most important. And the digestive tract Agni is called Jatara Agni. Now you don't really need to know that, but that's just one little bit of extra information for you. Jatara Agni. And this is a very central concept in Ayurveda, this concept of Agni. So the concept of Agni is referred to in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika again and again and again, many, many times, in many different situations. And so everything that happens in yoga, in some way or another, relates to Agni. When the Agni is weak in the body, when the digestive fire is weak, the metabolic fire is weak, the cellular fire is weak, then every function of the body starts to diminish. When the bodily Agni starts to diminish, then there is a greater possibility of the body accumulating toxins. Toxins can come in many forms and can be developed from anything. If the body is not able to metabolize the food, the air, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter how good the food is, how wonderful and pure the air is, if the body is not able to metabolize these incoming resources, then it will create toxins, because those those resources will not be converted into bodily tissue. Everyone happy with that concept? So I'm starting with the central concept of Agni, because this is the biggest bridge between yoga and Ayurveda. You know, Ayurveda is not something separate from yoga. Ayurveda is at the center of yoga, in fact. Classical yoga is really an Ayurveda, they really do connect very, very well on this level. So in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, first they say, start moving the body. And there are lots of postures in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika that are listed as postures that are very useful for kindling Agni. Whereas in fact, all postures to some extent are useful for kindling Agni. But the next thing that they recommend is that you make sure the body is clear of any toxic residues before you begin to do any subtle practices. A subtle practice is a practice like pranayama, mudra, and bandha. These practices are designed to harness and manipulate energy or prana. And prana is flowing in what they call the pranic body, the pranamaya kosha. The pranic body is made up of many meridians. So when you go to see an acupuncturist or you go to see an Ayurvedic practitioner to get some marma massage or something, these practices are really designed to work with the meridians, the nadis. So the purpose of yoga is not just to make the physical body lighter and disease-free, it is also to make the subtle body, to purify the subtle body, the pranamaya kosha, which ultimately helps to purify the mental body or the mind, the manomaya kosha. So it becomes, the process of yoga becomes more and more and more subtle. But at every level, there is something to do with Agni. So first it's the Agni in the physical body, and then it's the Agni in the pranic body, and then it's the Agni in the mental body. So there's this kind of journey that we're on as yoga people, that we're discovering. It's like peeling an onion, you know. Underneath one layer you have another layer, then you have another layer, then another layer. And this is the journey of yoga, where you are discovering more and more subtle layers of toxicity. It's not just physical toxins, it's also toxins that are built up in the energy body that you experience as the lack of energy or the energy that is impacting on your emotions and your thoughts, and then you discover that your thoughts also, you have toxic thoughts and toxic emotions, etc., etc. So that's kind of how it works, you see. So so ultimately, yoga is the process, classical yoga, I always say that, classical yoga is the process of purification. The purification of the physical to the subtle to the mental body. And through this process of purification, it is possible to build a pathway towards greater levels of lightness and wellness, and ultimately the experience of samadhi, the highest experience of Raja Yoga.